Hey guys, this is MJ Clark's Re-Viewpoint. We are back. I am sorry it took so long for me to put out another review. I was in the process of 1, getting engaged, yay, 2, moving into our new house, double yay, and 3, renovating said house, which we are still slightly in the process of, and we are in my currently still in renovation office. But today, we are reviewing the Zack Snyder cut of the Justice League. Now, the original Justice League released in 2017 to very mixed to poor reviews because it felt like it was shot by 2 separate people, because it was. Zack Snyder had to step away for personal reasons, very understandable. If you're curious about what those are, you can look it up, but it's basically public knowledge at this point in time. So they said, hey, you know who we need to film this movie? Because they know how to make a superhero team movie? Joss Whedon from the first 2 Avengers movies, which, in his own right, are incredible movies. They are amazing movies. The second one, less popular than the first, obviously, but the first one had that first time ever feel to it. So, of course, it gets a higher pedestal. But he didn't like all the studio interference and the stress of dealing with that many actors, so he decided to bow out of the MCU and working with Disney, which kind of is a little contradictory to the fact that he then said, yeah, I'll finish filming the other half of the Justice League movie. And in the process of doing that, I'll strip away everything that Zack Snyder was planning on doing, his vision, his tonality. I'll do a bunch of rewrites and a bunch of different shots, reshoots, and make it feel like 2 separate complete brains were operating the director's chair and the cinematography and the editing. The whole movie was a mess. Now, Justice League stars Ben Affleck as Batman, Henry Cavill as Superman, Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman, Ray Fisher as Cyborg, Ezra Miller as Barry Allen's Flash, Jeremy Irons as Alfred, J.K. Simmons as Commissioner Gordon, and Amy Adams as Lois Lane. That is an amazing cast. It is a shame, however, that in both cuts of this movie, they wasted Amy Adams, because in both versions, she's just there to mope around for Clark. That's her character. That's a problem with a couple side characters in both these movies. A lot like the complete waste of J.K. Simmons as Commissioner Gordon. Why would you get an Academy Award-winning actor to play Commissioner Gordon if you were going to give him less than 5 to 6 minutes of screen time in both cuts of the movie? The original cut, which was somewhere around 2+ hours, and this cut, which was 4 hours long, and you wasted him as Commissioner Gordon. Why? Although that's okay, because Sally Field was also wasted as Martha Kent. She comes in for a few emotional scenes in the first movie to remember Clark, feel bad about Clark. She's losing the house, the farm. But in this movie, they gave her like 1.5 extra scenes with Henry Cavill and Amy Adams to at least kind of round her out a little bit more, at least in grief. That's it. Point is, side characters in both versions of this movie are just kind of there. I mean, if you're going to consider Cyborg's dad as a side character, he's at least more of a supporting character. He was definitely a side character in the 2017 cut. In this one, he definitely feels like an actual supporting character who definitely is more than just there, but you don't get to know him a lot. He's just the workaholic who people respect and answer to, who has an unfortunately strained relationship with his son, whom he basically saved from a horrible accident involving he and his mother. And at least in this movie, Cyborg is actually a fleshed out character, which is a huge plus for this movie. Ray Fisher is very, very good as Cyborg Victor Stone. He is a great actor. We get to see well and above his actual acting ability in this version of the movie than we ever got to see in the 2017 cut. In the 2017 cut, he was just, hey, I'm broody robot guy. That's it. In this one, he's actually a son. He's a grieving son who is also going through a horrible acceptance of himself. He has self-hate. He hates his father. He is mourning his mother, and we get to see real emotion coming from him. that they just completely decided didn't belong in the original cut for some reason to make us care about him. Now he felt like a character you spent time with. This was essentially his origin story / movie. It felt like he was more of a main character than Superman, and he was. And Ezra Miller's Flash in this movie, thank God they erased a bunch of his dumb jokes from the first movie and that horrible way that they were having him run for the Speed Force. He looked like an ice skater who was having a stroke the way he ran in the original cut, and I hated how goofy and overly klutzy and just awkward he was in the first draft of this movie. And that's not on Ezra Miller. He's a great actor, but the writing from in the first cut, he was annoying as hell. That is hard to make Ezra Miller like damn near unwatchable, because he's really good in Perks Being a Wallflower. I love him in the Fantastic Beasts series. So it's just really sad when you can take a very likable actor and make me just not want to see him. But in this one, at least they made him much more interesting. You get to see the Speed Force. He actually saves people this time. I just wish they would have still, even in this cut, dumbed down his awkward stutteriness, because I still love Grant Gustin's Flash on the CW much more. But to be fair, I have spent 6 to 7 years more time with that version of Barry Allen, and Grant is just phenomenal in the role. So to me, it's kind of a synonymous, that's his role, along with the original, portrayal in the 90s, but that only ran for one season. So to me, Grant Gustin is Barry Allen Flash. They were in the original cut, they were trying to write Ezra like he was the Wally West version, the quippier, more dorky, over-talkative version of Flash. And that's not Barry. It's like they were trying to copy and paste his personality over to Barry. Also, thank God they got rid of all that awkward humor with Batman. It was like they were trying to mix the weird, quirky humor of Adam West coupled with the broody, hardcore Christian Bale, and then the Batman v Superman tonality of Batman. They were like, let's sprinkle in a little bit of everything, and then they were like, yeah, this is great, 2017 Justice League Batman. No, absolutely no. Oh, something's definitely bleeding. Oh God, I'm so glad they got rid of that stupid fucking line. This movie, I thought, heavily benefited from the 4:3 aspect ratio, very against Zack Snyder's normal shooting style, because he goes for that IMAX widescreen spectacle. Let's do so much slow motion, tight grain, tight in shots, and a lot of cuts to really get in the intensity of his more action thematic elements. But this was amazing. You got so much more on top and so much more beneath, and it really made the movie benefit. And after, gotta be honest, 20 minutes, you don't even notice that it's not in widescreen. You really don't. It just goes to show that we're so used to seeing everything in widescreen that we didn't even realize when it switched back to like a normal box TV style. And I think they're doing a re-release of this movie at some point in black and white, and it's going to benefit from that because it's a whole feel, it's a whole vibe. I'm so glad that Zack Snyder got to come back with the help of fans constantly petitioning for his cut for a couple years. The actors petitioning as well and trying to vie for the chance to redo it and make it better, because without trying to make a pun here, they wanted to do these characters in the movie and Zack and the fans justice. That's what makes this movie so great, that so many people love these characters so much that they were willing to come back and set it right because it had been wronged by Joss Whedon and Warner Brothers Studios constantly interfering in the production. When you should let a director be a director, because I will always be on the side of the director. You need to let a director share the vision. You gave them the control over a film. Let them set the direction of your film and get the hell out of the way. If they sink or swim, okay, but at least they sink or swim on their own ability, their own vision, their own strengths and weaknesses behind a camera, and helming a team without you stonewalling them, backing them into corners, and just telling them no to their amazing ideas because you think that a fan service would be better than an original visionary idea. All in all, this version of Justice League, it benefits from so many things, including overhauling the main villain Steppenwolf, making him a character that actually was fighting for something other than just, I want to rule the world. He was fighting for his honor back in the eyes of Darkseid. And I understood it. He was disgraced, cast out. He wanted to prove his worth. That is a motivation I can get behind. They overhauled his visual spectacle, motion capture, his voice, everything. He looked, felt like an actual threat. This movie also had a rated R feel to it. There was blood, cussing, F-bombs, slicing people in half, decapitating, crushing heads. It was a whole different vision. It felt like an actual Zack Snyder Justice League, not the Justice League that Zack Snyder tried to make and unfortunately couldn't. This felt like if there was a Justice League that was filmed by Zack Snyder, it would have been this Justice League. It had his fingerprints all over it, and it was a great grab. I gotta be honest, aside from my gripes with the way they handled some of the supporting characters and feeling like they wasted some of the potential of their supporting actors, the reshoots were amazing. Fixing the mustache on Henry Cavill, the upper lip CGI, reshooting, recolor grading this movie so it didn't look like a gloomy and then immediately shifting over to an oversaturated rainbow of a mess. Having it feel like it was one movie with one tonality, with some lighthearted humor in there, but staying true to a serious tone of loss, grief, fear, and feeling like everything was riding on them resurrecting Superman. It made the movie. The 4 hours didn't even feel like 4 hours. It just felt like you were watching this amazing marathon that you only needed to take a piss break for once and that you had to get back to and finish. That is a movie. That's what makes a movie. Your want to keep going through the adventure with the characters, not trying to copy and paste the same formula that worked in a Marvel Cinematic Universe and thinking, oh, because it worked on 2 movies over there, it'll work over here. DC and Marvel are 2 separate companies, 2 separate tones, completely separate characters with some similarities, but overall, overarching, everything, they are not the same. And just because we cared about these characters for 11 years here doesn't mean we're going to care about these characters in 3.5 to 4 years here. And that's what this movie did the best. And this is my final point. Zack Snyder was able to resurrect and essentially remake a bad movie into a great viewing experience because he did it on his own merit, vision, and artistic design and care and love for the project. Joss Whedon came in for a payday to stamp his name on another team film, and because he thought he was good enough to handle it because he has an overbloated ego, which is public record, and he is abusive on set, and none of the actors liked working with him, especially Ray Fisher. That is not how you direct a movie. You cannot helm a movie if you are going to belittle your actors, your set coordinators, argue with the studio, and try to rewrite something that had the potential of being great simply because you think your vision is better than the man who started it. Ego will always destroy a film every single time. With that being said, I'm going to give Zack Snyder's Justice League, to me, and I think everybody can agree, the definitive Justice League film, erasing 2017 from existence. This movie is going to get from me an A-. Guys, thank you so much for joining me back here on the Review Point. I'm going to try to keep pumping these out as often as I can. I am planning a wedding now, but I will be taking requests. I want you to please comment down below. Tell me what you want me to review next. Any movies I haven't seen. I got to watch Godzilla and King Kong. That might be the next one. But please like, share, and subscribe. Follow me on Instagram at The Lost Boy Anthem. And remember to have a great day. Be true to you. Stay safe out there during COVID. Wash your hands, wash your ass, put on a mask, go to church. Or don't go to church. I don't fucking care. You guys have a great day.